Have you ever looked at a house online here in Fort Wayne and wonder, wow, that's a nice house, but I wonder what the neighborhood's like? This is so difficult for our clients when they're moving here from another place, because even though we're doing these video tours and we're showing them the houses, it's still really difficult to get a good feel for the neighborhood. So if you've been looking at homes online in Fort Wayne, you're thinking about moving to Fort Wayne, but you want a little bit more information, I'm gonna break down each one of the areas by zip code, because when we help people move here, what I found is there's a lot of similarities just based on the zip code. It's the easiest way to break down what to expect in that area. This is your first time on this channel. My name is Knowe Dials. I'm a local real estate agent. Me and my wife, Francesca, we help people move to, from, and around Fort Wayne. I made this channel a couple years ago because we went through the painstaking anxiety of moving across America more than 1,200 miles to a state and city that we had no friends or family and we never heard of. At the time, I did some research. I couldn't find much information online, so I reached out to a real estate agent and asked them a bunch of questions. So in this video, we're gonna break down some things that we're currently experiencing with helping buyers as they move to Fort Wayne. So make sure you save this video for your reference for later, or as a matter of fact, you can open up a tab and follow along with the video. I'm going to review a few homes that's on the market now, but there may be some homes that you're looking at, and see if what I say matches up to what you're seeing based on the zip code. And if there's any questions that we don't cover, feel free to leave a comment or reach out to us. I left my contact information below. So we like to break down the houses that we find for them and then go to those areas and we'll break them down by zip code. And I break them down by zip code because it's the easiest way to differentiate the different areas so you know what to expect. The style of homes, the types of neighborhoods, the age of the neighborhood. And so we're gonna go down the pros and cons of some of these zip codes and what you can expect in each zip code. The top three things that people wanna know about every area, every neighborhood is it safe? Do they have good schools? And is it affordable? Here in Fort Wayne, that's a very general question because Fort Wayne is a safe city. We have great public school system and we have great private schools, so you can find that just about everywhere. The real question is, does that neighborhood fit your lifestyle?
Let it be the thing that I am longing for.
Let's start with breaking down the zip codes of Fort Wayne, and we're going to group them together. So the 46825, the 835, as you can see, they're northeast, east-northeast of Fort Wayne. What you'll notice also is the yellow area, which is essentially the downtown area. The zip codes that are 808, 805, 803, anything with the 0 in it, 806, 807 is downtown, except for the 804, and we're going to get into the 804 just a little bit here. And the third area I'm going to cover are the suburban zip codes, what I call suburban zip codes. So southwest of town, 46814, part of the 46804 and the 4783, and then north of town you got 46818, 46845, and even north of that, Huntertown, 46748. I'll probably have to make a separate video for the southern portion of town, the 809, the 819, the 46816. The Waynedale area, the airport is down there, so we didn't get a chance to cover that portion of Fort Wayne because this video got really, really long. One of the biggest differences between, let's say, the 46845 and the 46835 is uniqueness. In the 46835, you will find homes that are older, somewhere between the 1930s and the 1970s, maybe even the 1980s. In 46835, you have more what I call neighborhoods. The older neighborhoods are technically suburbs as well. They're older suburbs, but we generally associate that as a neighborhood. Downtown doesn't have subdivision, they have neighborhoods. So in the 46835, the pros there, because the homes were built different and developers were building the homes differently, you have more of a neighborhood feel. And by neighborhood feel, I mean that there's more variety in the styles of home. There's almost no two homes that are same. Not only is the architectural design different, but you can find more basements. because newer homes, especially those built in the last 5 years, many builders have opted out of building basements because it takes too much time and it costs way more money. So if you're looking for a basement, the 46835 and the 46825 might be a good option for you. If you have a bigger family also, I know the square footage is very important. Usually newer homes cost more money and they're smaller. So you get a smaller house, costs more money, but in the 46835, you can get a bigger house with a unique floor plan and potentially a basement. Some of the cons in the 46835 and the 46825, because it's an older home and it wasn't built out as a subdivision, you may not have sidewalks. So it's a hit or miss on that. The thing that will cost you the most in a house is the mechanicals. Many times when people go through homes, the first thing that catches their eye is the paint and the flooring, the backsplash in the kitchen, it's new appliances. All of that is good, it's great, it's good aesthetic, and it catches the eye. But the thing that's really gonna cost you more and hurt you in the pockets is the mechanicals, the things that you can't see. First thing you should be thinking about is that furnace. And how long has that roof been on that house? Here's another tip when it comes down to area code. So if you're looking at Fort Wayne on a map, you're gonna see 46804, 46802, 46803, 05, 07. Most of the time, not all the times, but the 4680, if it's 80 something, it's closer to downtown. So your 02s, your 03s, your 05s, 07. 07 is a popular area downtown. What you're gonna find downtown, you still find unique homes, architecture. You have a lot of historical homes down there, bigger homes, basements. You can have homes as old as 1890 actually down there. So that is something that's unique and I think is important as well. One thing to note before I forget, in the older subdivisions, if character is something that you're looking for in a house, that may be a good fit for you. Also the 835, the 825. The difference between the zip codes to the east and downtown is obviously the proximity. So if you don't live here in Fort Wayne, you don't know much about Fort Wayne, the 07 is all about that. They're all about historical homes, homes with character, mature trees, but they also have this whole vibe downtown. There's way more community in the downtown neighborhoods than anywhere else in Fort Wayne. So that's a pro. Before I get into the suburbia neighborhoods, there's one hybrid zip code, the 46804. A part of it is inside the loop, closer to downtown, and the other part of it is right outside of the loop on exit 302 going towards Liberty Mills in that area. So that area is a little bit unique because its homes were built between 1960 and 1975. So you're closer to downtown. It's more a neighborhood filled, older homes. So I wouldn't consider that downtown, but I wouldn't consider it suburbia either. So the 46804 is almost like a hybrid zip code. There's three major roads you want to keep in mind. You want to keep in mind Covington Road, Illinois Road, Liberty Mills Road, Aboit Center Road, right? Those roads lead you straight into suburbia. Let's talk about the suburban zip codes. Now, the biggest difference here is going to be the architectural style, and obviously it's going to be sprawling suburbia. So if you're looking for a modern farmhouse home or a modern craftsman style homes, this is where you're going to find those. And that's the difference between the 46835 and the 46825, even the downtown home. Like downtown, you have four square home Dutch colonial revival homes. Out in 46835, you'll have more of a traditional ranch style houses and stuff like that. Now you can have a traditional ranch style house in any part of Fort Wayne. You can find them all over, but you will not find a modern farmhouse home in the 46835 because that area was already developed, and unless somebody knocked the house down and built a modern farmhouse home there, you're not going to find it there. If you're looking for that type of architectural design, the suburbs is where you're going to look at. So here we have one of the most phenomenal listings on the market right now. If I had a top 5 homes that are listed on the market, this would be on the market in the 46845, which is my favorite zip code. A lot of times when I talk about different areas to live in Fort Wayne, I like to break it down by zip code, especially for people who are not familiar with Fort Wayne. That gives us the opportunity to really narrow down some of the great locations that you can live in. So here we're at 12887 Gannett Court. This listing is brought to you by Timothy Green at Sterling Realty Group. This is one of the most phenomenal homes on the market right now. 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, as you can see behind me, 3-car garage. The exterior, you have the mixed materials, faux brick on the first layer, and then you have your vinyl up top. The 46845 is my favorite zip code. It's the second most expensive zip code area here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. But I think that's largely due to the fact that we've increased new construction production in the 46845. 46845, if you've been to this channel before, I've talked about Tuscany. Neighborhood is one of my most, it's such a great neighborhood. You'll notice the days on market for homes that hit that subdivision is pretty low. Homes go fast there. When they started building homes in the 46845, I believe the architecture design here in Fort Wayne started to shift to modern homes. What you're gonna get in the newer subdivisions and in the suburban areas, the more open floor plans. That's one of the pros of living in an area with newer homes and suburbia. They have the open floor plan. I forgot to mention this when we were talking about homes downtown, the zip codes that are downtown, and the zip codes to the east and going out to New Haven, 46835 and 48825. Those homes are broken up, more compartmentalized. So when you walk into those houses, the kitchen will be separated more than likely by a wall, and there'll just be a door into a formal dining. And then you may be separated by another wall between the formal dining and the kitchen and the great room or the front room. In those subdivisions, you'll have a great room and a formal dining and a living room. You don't have as much variety in these subdivisions. But if you're looking for an open floor plan, I recommend going to those subdivisions or that are in the 46845 or the 46814 because of the newer architectural design. With the newer subdivisions and because of how subdivisions are built, you can find more neighborhoods built with sidewalks. We have a puppy, and walking our dog is just something that's a part of our everyday life. I can't imagine living in a subdivision or a neighborhood that didn't have paved sidewalks. I know. The last thing I want to touch on is in these areas. So if you're downtown, so the 07, the 05, the 02, or if you're in 825 or 835, the cons there is you don't find new construction homes. There are very few new construction homes in those areas because those subdivisions are completely built. So right now, interest rates are important. The reason I bring this up is because builders have been providing incentives to first-time home buyers, actually any buyer. If you buy a new construction home, I think right now D.R. Horton's offering like a 5.25. Now, I don't know how long that's gonna last. By the time you see this video, they may not have that incentive, but you'll have an opportunity for new construction homes in the subdivisions that are outside of the city where there are new construction. So now that you know what Fort Wayne is like in each zip code, check out my last video where I talked about the 5 things that I wish I would have known before moving to Fort Wayne, and I'll see you there.